Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We mentioned yesterday as we begin the 80th chapter and discussing the laws of Shabbos, we're discussing some of the activities that are prohibited on Shabbos. And we mentioned that all of the malachas, all of those actions, which are creative type of things, which form and shape material that is here in this world already, there's 39 of them in total, and they are learned out from the construction of the Mishkan of the Tabernacle, that just like it took 39 malachas activities to create and build the Mishkan, so since that next to the words talking about Shabbos, it talks about the building of the Mishkan, we learn out that whatever was used to build the Mishkan, you're not allowed to do those malachas, those actions on Shabbos. Now the Kitzur writes, Ikra malacha shenesu lanu la'aseh Shabbos, the basic malachas, the basic acts that are forbidden for us to perform on Shabbos, they're already known to most of the Jews, and therefore we don't have to spell them out over here. I'm only writing the laws that not everybody knows, and they are commonly occurring matters. So we're not going to see every single law, apparently, according to the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, but we're going to see basic and main laws that is very important to know. But what I'd like to do today is go through the list of the 39 malachas, the 39 actions that were prohibited to perform on Shabbos, and we'll try to keep them in mind because many of them we will touch upon as we go through these chapters. Number one, zareya, which means sewing, which not sewing with a needle and a thread, but sewing is in the sewing that a person does with the seeds that they put into the ground. Choresh, which means plowing, when you plow the fields. Kaitzer, reaping, when you reap your crops. Ma'amer, when you're gathering in those fruits. Dosh, when you are threshing, you take the wheat and you thresh it on the floor. Zoira, which is called winnowing. Winnowing is when you take the kernels from the wheat that have been extracted from their husks and you cast them into the air with a pitchfork, and the wind blows away the chaff and leaves the heavier kernels for us to be able to enjoy. Boirer, sorting, when you're sorting out that which you don't want from what you do want. Grinding, teichen, sifting, maraked, lush, kneading, all these things that are about making bread. Oife is baking. Then we come to another section. Goizes, shearing, when they would shear the wool off of the lambs and the sheep that they needed to make certain things in the Mishkan. Malaben, bleaching that wool so that it wouldn't be dirty and brown, it would be clean. Menapates, combing, they had to comb, and when you comb, you pull out hairs. You can't do that. Tzaiveya, dyeing, they would dye different colors to use it for what they wanted. Toivis, spinning, when they would actually begin to prepare the threads for the weaving. Mesech is mounting the warp, which means the way in which they would set the thread on top of the warp, which is a fancy name for a weaving machine. Oisesh they bate nirin, setting two heddles. What does it mean to set two heddles? That's the way in which they would, I believe, they would lock in the threads in order to be able to do the weaving. Oireg, the weaving itself. Paitzei, unraveling woven threads. If some of the threads were not in the position that they wanted to, and they had to eliminate the excess threads, so unraveling them. Koisher, how would they hold the weaving in place? They would tie a knot. Matir, undoing a knot. Sometimes they had to undo it. Toifer, sewing itself, sewing it into the different things that they had inside the Mishkan. Karei al manat litfor, tearing in order to sew. Sometimes they would tear something in order to sew something else. That also is a problem. Number 25, we're almost done. Tzad, trapping animals. Sheichet, slaughtering animals. Mafshit, skinning the hides of animals. Ma'abe, tanning the animals. Mamachik, smoothing the hides. Misartet, etching in where they would want to write certain things. Machatech, cutting. You can't cut with scissors. You can't cut even with your hands, as we'll see. Kaisev, writing, and we'll have to see exactly what it means. You're not allowed to write. Meichek, erasing letters. Baina, building something. Seiser, demolishing, to destroy something. Mechab, extinguishing a fire. Mavir, kindling a fire. Maka bepatish, which means striking the final blow, which means the last act that needs to be done in producing or making something. That's a problem. And number 39 is Maitzim Rishus, the Rishus, transferring from one domain to another, the laws of carrying, which will bring us into the laws of Eruvin, and where you would be allowed to carry and not allowed to carry. So, as we said, these are all the biblical prohibitions. There are also many rabbinical decrees which they instituted to safeguard all of these malachas, and we will try our best to see over these next probably weeks that we're discussing the 39 prohibited malachas, what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do, and how to keep the Holy Shabbos day properly. Have a wonderful day.